Dream Team, it's your boy D Neal back with another reaction video, guys. Here we are with what is Anzac Day. Before we dive in and find out, y'all know I need you guys to smash that subscribe button, ring the notification bell, get a video a thumbs up so it gets suggested. If you do have a favorite video suggestion, you can subscribe to Patreon, drop it in the comment section or in the description section. There's a premium request link. I know about Anzac. I know it's Australia and New Zealand coming together for some treaty or something like that. I'm not completely sure what it is. So hopefully they can, I don't know, by the end of this quick 5-minute video, I'll know what Anzac Day is. Before we dive in, I already told you guys to subscribe, so let's do it.
Every year in Australia, we commemorate a very important day in Australian history known as Anzac Day. At this time of the year, you might sometimes bake Anzac biscuits or stand in silence to reflect and remember Anzac soldiers. But do you know who the Anzacs were and why it is important that we commemorate this day?
So it was more of a day of commemoration than like a treaty sign. Like I said at the beginning, I feel dumb for saying that, but it's a day of commemoration for like soldiers who lost their lives. And you can bake Anzac biscuits. You can sit in silence and remember them. Sit in silence and remember them. I love that they have those memorials with all of their names on there, so that you can commemorate the sacrifices that they made. I think that's absolutely awesome.
In 1914, the world was in turmoil at the outbreak of World War I. Though Australia and New Zealand were considered young nations, both of these countries came together to help their British allies in the war. These soldiers were called Anzacs, which stands for Australia and New Zealand Army Corps.
Okay, got you. Australia and New Zealand Army.
On the 25th of April 1915, the Anzacs travelled to a place called the Gallipoli Peninsula to capture the Turkish capital of Istanbul, known then as Constantinople. However, they were met by a fierce defence from Ottoman Turkish soldiers. What they had hoped to be a quick campaign turned out to be 8 months of brutal warfare.
Oh my God.
8 months after their arrival, the Anzacs evacuated from Gallipoli, but not before many soldiers had given their life or suffered great injuries. In fact, over 10,000 Anzacs died at the fierce hand of the war at Gallipoli. Upon their return,
I always hate war because so many people lose their over 10,000 is crazy. That is heartbreaking. That is sad. That is 10,000 people. That is 10,000 families who's lost someone. That's 10,000 soldiers who lost their life, and that's only 10,000 people who lost their lives. That's not accounting all the people who came back but were completely changed by the war, whether that be mentally, whether that be physically, emotionally, just came back absolutely damaged from experiencing that. That's just painful, dog. War is just an absolute painful thing. But I mean, there are just certain things that you have to stand up for. There's certain things worth fighting for. So I would say it's a necessary evil. You just hate that people are losing their lives. You hate seeing humans take human life. You hate hearing about families who've lost someone. You just hate it. But you also commemorate and respect all the sacrifices that were made, that these soldiers were willing to stand up and fight. You feel me? And put their lives on the line. And these families were willing to allow their family members to go over there and fight. It sucks, but you can do nothing but respect them to the utmost.
Australia has commemorated Anzac Day since the 25th of April 1916, 1 year after the Anzacs first arrived at Gallipoli. There are many symbols and emblems that you might recognise on Anzac Day. Let's have a look at a few of them. Yum, an Anzac biscuit. It can be fun to help bake these and even more fun to eat around Anzac Day. But it's a bit funny to remember Anzac Day by eating a biscuit, isn't it? Where did they come from? The Anzac biscuit we have today is similar to a type of food many of the Anzac soldiers carried with them. Because they didn't have fridges or shops to get food from, the soldiers needed to eat food that would not go bad over time. Many carried the first Anzac biscuits, which were a substitute for bread. Though they can be a tasty treat, they also help us remember some of the struggles Anzac soldiers went through.
I think that's awesome that people like bake and try to like kind of resemble or reciprocate the same type of food that the Anzacs ate during that time, since they couldn't obviously go sharp and obviously didn't have a fridge. But right now, to commemorate them, you can kind of bake and eat the same kind of food that they ate.
Another symbol you might recognize are flowers, such as red poppies or rosemary flowers. Red poppies were famously found growing in some of the most brutal locations of World War I, such as northern France and Belgium, after the war had ended. Rosemary flowers symbolize memory and were found scattered throughout the peninsula at Gallipoli. Because these flowers are very symbolic, they are used as a way for us to remember those fallen by war. They can often be seen being laid down in remembrance of fallen soldiers during days such as Anzac Day.
Absolutely.
The original Anzac Day was significant because not only was it a day to remember and pay respects to the families and friends of those that had died in war, it also played a major part in forming an Australian identity of courage and mateship that is still important today. Whilst the Anzac legend lives on, soldiers from Australia have defended our country in other wars since World War I. This means that when we commemorate Anzac Day, we remember those that have given their lives in service of our country on other occasions as well. There are many ways Anzac Day is...
That's so freaking awesome, man. I absolutely love it. Man, shout out to all the Anzacs. Shout out to all the soldiers. I have utmost respect for people willing to put their lives on the line, willing to sacrifice so much outside of their life as well, like willing to sacrifice time away from their families, willing to sacrifice their jobs, willing to do so much to stand up and fight for something that's worth fighting for.
It's commemorated today. Often people will rise for a dawn service. These services are held at dawn each year because this was the same time Anzac soldiers originally arrived on Gallipoli shores. What are some of the other ways we remember those in our past and present who have committed themselves to the service of our country on Anzac Day?
Shout out all the Anzacs, man, that lost their lives, or all the family members who lost someone, or those who fought and didn't come back the same, or those who were just willing to go out and fight. That's all we got for this video. Make sure y'all subscribe, ring notification bell, get a video a thumbs up. It's your boy Neal, out.